The roar of the crowd crashed like a tidal wave as the halftime whistle blew, but for Alex Rivera, it might as well have been silence. He stood frozen on the 50-yard line, pom-poms limp in his hands, under the glare of floodlights that felt more like spotlights on an execution stage. In that split second, Captain Tara's voice sliced through the stadium speakers, her words a venomous arrow. "We don't tolerate fakers on this squad, especially not ones who prey on their own teammates." Alex's heart slammed against his ribs, the world tilting as thousands of eyes pinned him in place. He'd known the whispers about his sexuality had been circling like vultures for weeks, ever since that late-night practice when he'd lingered too long helping Jordan tie his laces. But this was betrayal served raw. Tara's accusation hanging in the air like smoke from a bomb she'd just detonated. The crowd's murmurs swelled into jeers, a few sharp laughs cutting deeper than any knife, and Alex felt the ground crumble beneath his sneakers, the green turf blurring through the sting in his eyes. He wanted to scream that it was a lie, that he'd never preyed on anyone, that Jordan was his best friend, the one person who'd made this suffocating small-town high school bearable. But his throat closed up, choked by the weight of every sidelong glance, every locker room snicker he'd endured since coming out last spring. As the cheer squad scattered, leaving him isolated in the center of the field like a discarded prop, Alex dropped to one knee, the humiliation burning hotter than the California sun ever could. Little did he know, high above in the press box, a forgotten microphone crackled to life, capturing whispers that would unravel the entire charade. The stadium at Ridgeview High in Bakersfield, California, was a coliseum of faded glory, cracked bleachers painted in chipped red and gold, the kind of place where Friday night lights promised escape from the monotony of oil fields and endless strip malls. For Alex, a senior with dreams bigger than the dusty horizon, cheerleading had been his rebellion, a way to flip off the macho expectations his truck-driving dad had drilled into him since he could walk. "Real men don't prance," his father had grunted once, after catching Alex practicing flips in the garage. But Alex did prance, and he did it well, his lean frame twisting through the air with a grace that turned heads and twisted tongues. Jordan Hayes had been the first to notice, back in freshman year when Alex botched a pyramid and Jordan, the star quarterback, caught him mid-fall with a grin that said, "I've got you." From there, it was easy, late-night runs along the Kern River Trail, sharing earbuds under the stars, confessions spilled over greasy burgers at In-N-Out. Jordan wasn't out, not fully. He called it figuring things out, but the way his hand brushed Alex's during huddles, the lingering hugs after wins, spoke volumes. They weren't dating, not officially. Small-town eyes watched too closely for that. But the pull between them was a live wire, humming with unspoken promises. Tara Montgomery, though, saw it as a threat. Squad captain since junior year, with her bleach-blonde ponytail and Instagram-perfect life, Tara ruled the cheer team like a general in stilettos. She'd cornered Alex weeks ago in the girls' locker room. Ironic, since the squad shared space with the dance team, hissing that his fairy vibes were scaring off boosters. "This isn't some San Francisco parade, Alex. Keep it straight, or I'll make sure everyone knows what a distraction you are." He'd laughed it off then, but the seed of doubt had taken root, especially after Jordan started pulling away, citing family stuff that Alex suspected was code for his own fears. That afternoon, as the sun dipped low over the Sierra Nevada foothills, the team had gathered for the big game against crosstown rivals, Westview. The air buzzed with pre-game adrenaline, the scent of fresh popcorn mingling with the metallic tang of goalpost paint. Alex had felt invincible during warm-ups, nailing a double full that drew whoops from the sidelines. Jordan had jogged over, helmet under his arm, his hazel eyes locking on Alex's with that familiar spark. "You're killing it out there," he'd murmured, close enough that Alex caught the faint spice of his cologne. For a heartbeat, the world narrowed to just them, the noise fading like static. But as the first half unfolded, cracks appeared. Tara's routines grew sharper, her glares during flips more pointed. Midway through the second quarter, with the score tied at 14-14, Alex caught her whispering to the sound tech, a sophomore named Mikey who idolized her. He dismissed it. Paranoia, he told himself, until the whistle blew and the squad took the field for halftime. That's when it happened. Tara's mic, clipped to her uniform, was live. She'd meant to hype the crowd, but instead, she turned to the squad, her voice booming. Listen up, ladies, and Alex. We've got a problem. Some people think they can waltz in here, batting their lashes at the football boys, turning this into a joke. I won't have it. Not on my watch. The stadium fell into a stunned hush, then erupted. Alex's name wasn't spoken, but everyone knew. Phones whipped out, videos starting to roll as teammates averted their eyes, some smirking, others shifting uncomfortably. He stood there, the weight of 5,000 stares pressing down, his uniform suddenly feeling like a clown suit. Tara, what the hell? He managed, voice cracking over the speakers, his own mic still hot from the routine. But she just smiled, cold and triumphant, as if she'd finally exorcised the demon in their midst. In the chaos that followed, Alex bolted for the tunnel, pom-poms abandoned on the turf, the jeers chasing him like hounds. He slammed into the locker room, chest heaving, tears hot on his cheeks. The door burst open moments later, and there was Jordan, face pale as chalk. Alex, that was messed up. Are you okay? He reached out, but Alex flinched back, the hurt too raw. Did you know? Did you let her do this? The words tumbled out, laced with accusation born of desperation. Jordan's eyes widened, hurt flashing across his features. What? No, man, I'd never. But Alex couldn't hear it. Not then. He shoved past, grabbing his duffel from the bench, the room spinning with betrayal. Outside, the night air hit like a slap, carrying echoes of the crowd's chants now twisted into mockery. He texted his mom, grounded in denial since his coming out, but his only ally, and started the long walk home along Highway 99, the semis rumbling past like indifferent giants. Behind him, the game resumed, but for Alex, halftime had ended everything. Up in the press box, though, fate had other plans. Mikey, the sound tech, fumbled with the controls, his hands shaking from Tara's earlier pep talk, a not-so-subtle flirt that had left him flustered. In his haste to cut the squad's audio, he'd left a backup mic open, the one dangling from the announcer's booth, picking up stray conversations like a ghost in the wires. As the second half kicked off, the feed hummed quietly, unnoticed amid the broadcast. Tara huddled with her inner circle, Vice Captain Lena and a couple of juniors, giggling over the show. Did you see his face? Priceless. That little queen thought he could flirt with Jordan and get away with it. Lena snorted, but her laugh was forced. Wasn't that overkill, Cap? I mean, Alex is solid. He doesn't deserve. Tara whirled, eyes narrowing. Deserve? He was creeping everyone out. And Jordan? That boy's got scouts coming next week. Can't have rumors tanking his chances. The words floated out over the open line, faint but clear, threading into the stadium's PA system like smoke under a door. At first, no one noticed. The crowd's roar drowned it. But then a few heads turned in the stands, whispers rippling outward. In the booth, Mikey froze, staring at the blinking red light. Oh crap, he muttered, slapping the switch too late. The damage was done. Down on the sidelines, Jordan heard it all, the blood draining from his face as Tara's voice echoed his worst fears. He'd pulled away not because of Alex, but because his dad, a former coach with a beer gut and a homophobic streak wider than the San Joaquin Valley, had cornered him after practice. I see you with that fairy, son. Fix it, or you're off the team. Jordan had nodded, gut churning, but every lie he'd told himself cracked under the weight of Tara's casual cruelty. He scanned the field for Alex, but he was gone, vanished into the night. The game dragged on, Westview pulling ahead 28-21 by the fourth quarter, but the real drama played out in fragments. Fans in the bleachers replayed the audio on their phones, sharing clips with hashtags like RidgeviewTruth and Cheergate. By the final whistle, with a heartbreaking interception sealing the loss, the parking lot buzzed with outrage. Tara, high on her perceived victory, strutted toward her SUV, only to find a cluster of parents waiting, faces thunderous. What kind of example are you setting, young lady? One barked, phone in hand. She blinked, smile faltering. It's just squad stuff. Just. The word exploded from Coach Harlan, the football advisor who'd mentored Alex since Pee Wee Leagues. He stormed up, Jordan trailing behind, eyes downcast. I heard every word, Tara, and so did half the town. Her face crumpled, the captain's mask slipping to reveal a scared girl who'd lashed out from her own closet of insecurities. Rumors of her crush on Lena, buried deep under layers of performative straightness. As sirens wailed in the distance, someone had called the principal. Alex reached his street, the Rivera house, a squat rancher with a sagging chain-link fence. He collapsed on the porch steps, burying his face in his knees, the night's events replaying like a nightmare loop. His phone buzzed, a flood of texts, from teammates apologizing in panic, from strangers offering support, and one from Jordan. "Please. It's not what you think. Meet me at the river. I need to explain." He almost deleted it, the trust shattered like glass underfoot. But something in the plea, the raw edge to those words, pulled at the thread of their bond, fragile but unbroken. Wiping his eyes, Alex stood, the stars above mocking his smallness. The walk to the Kern River Trail felt eternal, each step a battle against the urge to run the other way. When he arrived, Jordan was there, silhouetted against the moonlit water, shoulders slumped in defeat. "Alex," he started, voice breaking. "I screwed up. My dad. He found out about us, or thought he did. Threatened to pull me from everything. I was scared, okay? I let Tara's crap get to me, but I never believed it. You're the best thing in my life." The confession hung between them, heavy with the unsaid. The kisses they'd stolen in empty classrooms, the dreams of escaping to UCLA together, far from Bakersfield's judgmental gaze. Alex searched his face, seeing the boy who'd defended him against bullies in middle school, the one who'd held him after his mom's lukewarm acceptance speech. "Then why didn't you fight for us? Why let her humiliate me like that?" Jordan stepped closer, the river's murmur underscoring his words. "Because I'm a coward. But not anymore. I quit the team tonight. Told coach it's over unless they boot Tara and apologize to you." The revelation hit like a gut punch. Jordan, the golden boy, sacrificing his future for him? Tears welled again, but this time from a crack in the armor, relief mingling with the ache. They sat on the bank, shoulders touching, the truth spilling out in halting bursts. Jordan admitted he'd known about Tara's grudge, had even confronted her once, only for her to twist it into ammunition. Alex shared his fears of being unlovable, the weight of his dad's silence since coming out, the isolation that cheer had briefly eased. As dawn crept over the horizon, painting the water gold, they made a pact. No more hiding, no more half-truths. But the town wouldn't let it rest easy. By morning, the audio clip had gone viral, shared across Kern County social media, igniting debates in diners and classrooms. Principal Vargas called an emergency assembly, Tara suspended pending investigation, her parents furious at the witch hunt. Lena came out in solidarity, posting a tearful video about her own bisexuality, fracturing the squad but forging unexpected alliances. For Alex, the fallout was a whirlwind. His dad showed up at school unannounced, face etched with regret, mumbling about not knowing how to handle it before pulling him into a gruff hug, the first in years. Reporters from the Bakersfield, Californian sniffed around, turning their story into a symbol for small-town progress. But the real tension brewed beneath. Tara, cornered and desperate, wasn't done. Whispers reached Alex that she'd been plotting revenge, digging into his past for dirt that didn't exist, rallying a few diehard loyalists who saw him as the villain. One crisp October evening, as leaves skittered across the high school quad, Alex spotted her lurking near the gym, eyes red-rimmed but defiant. "You think you've won?" she spat when he approached, alone for the first time since the scandal. "Everyone's turning on me because of you." He saw it then, the mirror of his own pain, twisted by denial. "This isn't about winning, Tara. It's about being honest. With yourself." She laughed bitterly, but it cracked, tears spilling. In a moment of raw vulnerability, she confessed, her straight girl act was a shield against her feelings for Lena, feelings she projected onto Alex as easier prey. The conversation stretched into the twilight, a fragile bridge forming over the chasm of hurt. Tara didn't apologize, not fully, but she agreed to talk to a counselor, the first step toward unraveling her knots. Alex walked away lighter, realizing forgiveness wasn't absolution, but a release for his own soul. With Tara sidelined, the squad rebuilt under Lena's interim leadership, inviting Alex back with cheers that felt genuine. Jordan, true to his word, had stepped away from football, channeling his energy into a GSA club that ballooned from 5 members to 50 overnight. Their relationship, once a secret spark, bloomed openly, hand-holding in the halls, stolen moments in the library stacks. But shadows lingered. Jordan's dad refused to speak to him, the family dinners turning into battlegrounds of silence. The real test came at homecoming, the rematch against Westview under a sky bruised with storm clouds. Alex hesitated at first, the memory of halftime still a scar, but Jordan's hand in his steadied the nerves. "We're in this together," he whispered, and for the first time, Alex believed it. The routine went off without a hitch, the crowd's applause thunderous, no mics betraying secrets this time. Yet, as confetti rained down in victory, Ridgeview 35, Westview 28, a new twist unfolded. During the after-party at the community center, a tipsy alum cornered Jordan, dropping a bomb. "Heard your old man's got a history. Back in the day, he and Coach Harlan." The implication hung, unfinished but explosive, rumors of a buried romance, explained by Jordan's aunt in hushed tones later that night. It reframed everything. His dad's homophobia, not hatred, but fear of his own reflection. The revelation shattered Jordan, sending him into a spiral of questions and confrontations. Alex was there through it all, holding space as Jordan demanded answers in the family kitchen, voices rising until his dad broke, admitting a college fling with Harlan that ended in shame and secrecy. "I pushed you away to protect you from what I couldn't face," he sobbed, the walls between them crumbling. In the quiet aftermath, father and son rebuilt, tentative but real. Fishing trips where words flowed easier than before. Alex watched it unfold, his own family healing in parallel. His mom started attending games, pom-poms in hand, her pride a quiet revolution. Tara, too, found her way, coming out quietly to Lena in a coffee shop, their first date an awkward triumph of shared vulnerability. By winter break, as snow dusted the uncommonly white Sierras, Alex and Jordan stood on the same riverbank where truths had first surfaced, rings glinting on their fingers, promise bands, simple silver etched with no more hiding. The town had changed, incrementally, rainbow flags at City Hall, GSA murals on the water tower. But the deeper shifts were internal, the scars that toughened without hardening hearts. Yet life, ever the dramatist, had one more curve. In the spring, scouts from UCLA approached not Jordan, but Alex, offering a scholarship for a combined cheer and kinesiology program. His flip's now a ticket out. Jordan, applying to the same school for business, grinned through the envy. "Looks like you're dragging me along after all." Graduation dawned bright, caps sailing into blue skies as diplomas were clutched like lifelines. Tara, reinstated on probation, led one last cheer, her voice steady with newfound authenticity. Lena and she shared a podium kiss during speeches, met with applause that drowned old jeers. As Alex crossed the stage, Jordan's eyes met his from the audience, a lifetime of battles distilled into a single, unbreakable gaze. The humiliation of halftime was a distant echo, replaced by the roar of possibility. In America's heartland, where prejudices ran deep as aquifers, they'd carved a river of their own, turbulent, twisting, but flowing toward the sea. But wait, the story doesn't end neatly. Months later, at UCLA's orientation, a familiar face appeared in the crowd. Mikey, the sound tech, now a freshman audio major, grinning sheepishly. "That Mike? I left it on purpose," he confessed over campus tacos. Overheard Tara plotting and figured the universe needed a nudge. The twist landed like a plot twist in their rom-com life, laughter bubbling up as they toasted to accidental heroes. And so, in the sprawl of Los Angeles lights, Alex and Jordan stepped forward, hand in hand, the past a prologue to futures unbound. Love, it turned out, wasn't just survival. It was the spark that ignited change, one forgotten mic at a time.